This is your parabola. You have to get the x squared on the side by itself, or the y squared on the side by itself. So you have to move this to the other side. So I moved it so it looks like this. I moved it to the other side. Then your vertex is the opposite of what follows x, the opposite of what follows y, which is negative 1, 3. Because it's a y squared and a positive 4p, it points to the right. And then my 4p equaled 4, so p equals 1, which means I went from my vertex to the right one to get the focus, left one to draw the line to get the directrix. It's going to ask you for the focus, so you need the coordinate point, which was 0, 3. It's going to ask you for the directrix. That's an equation, x equals negative 2. And then obviously your vertex, you need to graph it. Questions on that one? Okay, then came your circle. So this time it's going to ask you for your center and your radius. Just change the signs of what follow the x and the y to get the center, the radius, square root, the value that's there, and then draw the graph. That one hopefully should be easy, but that's an open-ended question. It's got two parts. It's got the center and the radius, and then the graph. Then came your ellipse. So the ellipse, it's not going to ask you for specific parts. Like you don't have to give me the foci, but you do obviously have to know how to graph it. So I changed the signs on what follows the x and the y to get the center, which is the 3, negative 2. The bigger numbers underneath the y, which makes this vertical. So I go up and down A, which is 5. I go right and left B, which is 4, and then draw your circle, your ellipse to the best of your ability. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be drawn. Then came your hyperbola. So also opposite of what follows x, and then what follows y is your center. This time, order matters for a hyperbola. The A is underneath the first one, so whatever's positive. So the A squared is 16, making A4. B squared is 25, making B5. And because the A is underneath the x, this is going right and left. So then I went from the center, right and left, 4, up and down, 5. And then you want to make yourself your little rectangle that passes through those points. And then through the corners of the rectangle is where we draw the asymptotes. And then because it's horizontal, it's going to point right, left. I make those branches as wide as I can without touching the asymptotes. So it's, again, it's not going to ask you for specific equations of the asymptotes. It's just going to ask you for the graph of the hyperbola. Okay, then came graphing the polar coordinate and then converting it to rectangular. So the conversion is r cosine theta, r sine theta. My r was negative 2, cosine at 5 pi over 6 is negative root 3 over 2, and then again negative 2 for the radius, and the sine at 5 pi over 6 is 1/2. So my coordinate point is root 3 and negative 1. When you go to graph this coordinate point, 5 pi over 6 is here, but we would typically go towards it, but it's a negative r, so we go away from it. And the quadrant that this point is and the quadrant that your polar coordinate is graphed in should also be the same. So root 3 and negative 1 would go to the right and down, which puts it in the same spot. Make sure you'd also be able to find additional points here. So how would I find additional representations of this same point? How do you do that? No plug-in. If I wanted to find an additional name for this same point.
Can't you, like, when you're doing the math, you just kind of have to flip it like the negative?
So you can look at your graph and you can say, okay, I know that name. That is 7 pi over 4, and it's 2, so 2, 7 pi over 4 is a name, right? I could also call 7 pi over 4 negative pi over 4. And then the last one would be if it's opposite. So if instead of it going towards 5 pi over 6, it's negative. But another name for 5 pi over 6 is negative 7 pi over 6. So I would get negative, not 5 pi over, why are these over 4? Sorry, this should be over 6. Over 6. Negative 2 and negative 7 pi over 6. So that's it, just like looking at the graph. But if I didn't understand how to find them looking at the graph, then the tricks are keep your r the same. Take theta, add and subtract 2 pi. Change the sign on r, add and subtract pi. So it's going to ask you to do all those things. Know how to graph it, know how to convert it, know how to find additional points. Make sure you know how to do all those things. And then also make sure you know how to go from rectangular back to polar. So if I did that, like if I work the opposite direction, my r is equal to the square root of root 3 squared plus negative 1 squared. 3 plus 1, root 4, which is 2. That gives me my r. And then theta, tan of theta, would be negative 1 over root 3. which becomes negative root 3 over 3. And that's an over 6, but I need to know what quadrant. This coordinate point is to the right and down, which means it's the 4th quadrant, and I would pick the 4th quadrant over 6, which theta equals 11 pi over 6. So if I was converting back from root 3 comma negative 1, my answer would actually be 2 11 pi over 6, which is one of the names for this coordinate point. But that's what you would get. So that's like kind of 2 questions into one. One where you're graphing, converting, and finding additional points, and then one where you're going the other direction where you've got rectangular and you're going to polar. All of that is on the open-ended portion. All right, 6 is your circle. This should be an easy gimme question if you know what you're doing. If there's nothing next to the theta, it's a circle. If it's a cosine, it's on the right and the left. If it was a positive 4, it'd be on the right. If it's a negative 4 like this one is, it's on the left. If it was a positive 4 with a sign, then it would be above. And if it was a negative 4 with a sign, then it would be below. So that should be an easy question if you just know those rules. And then the last one is your rows. So the rows is one of the double point questions. I will give you points for literally just giving me petal length, number of petals, and then symmetry. Like you'll get some points. You'll get 2 of the 4 points just from that. So I know there's 4 petals because the next to the theta is even, so I double it. I know the petal length is 3 because that's what's on the front. I know if it's got an even number of petals, it has all 3 types of symmetry. And then to find the petal length, we set it equal to, or find the location of the petal, we set it equal to the petal length. So I set it equal to 3. I divided both sides by negative 3, and I got sine of 2 theta equals negative 1. Sine is negative 1 at 3 pi over 2, so I got to here. I don't need the 2n pi, that just helps me get the extra petals. I need at least the 3 pi over 2 equals 2 theta, and then I would have divided by 2, and I get one of my petals is at 3 pi over 4, which was here. And then I can use my symmetry to say, okay, it also flips over the pi over 2 line, and it flips over the polar axis, so now I know all 4 petals. Questions on anything of that before we move on? So this is 7. If you include the one I just added, that's 8 of your open-ended questions.